So when the children asked me why Daddy and I weren't living together, I explained that it was like an apple, dropping it on the floor, and it became bruised. So once the apple's bruised, no matter how many times you say sorry to the apple will never be the same. And that was the same as Mummy and Daddy. Daddy had hurt Mummy too many times, and no matter how much he says sorry, Mummy's upset now forever. So, yeah.
At the end of the day, I used to be really afraid before he would arrive home from work and run around getting the house organised and make sure everything was sorted, and just being afraid even when I'd hear his particular car door shut. I knew he was home and I didn't know what to expect.
So coming into the program, my expectations were to meet other women that were in the same situation as me so that it would normalise life for me and my children.
Hearing their stories as we met and realising other women had walked in my shoes in a very similar way was really, really helpful. The first chunk of the course was just with the adults, so our children were minded by some carers, which was really great because we got to settle them in and work through some of the really tricky stuff that we were coming out of. So it didn't matter what we said because our children weren't hearing, so we could sort of share some of the really hard experiences we had each had.
The children all got to meet each other, and I guess they got to also feel normal again being around other children that were also experiencing the same emotions as them. She's learned how to socialise with other children, she's learnt to be a lot stronger, and she's learnt also how to read my emotions.
So one day I was going to my car and trying to find my keys in my handbag, and I got really, really stressed and panicky because I thought I was going to get in trouble for not being able to find my keys quick enough. And then all of a sudden remembered in the course that this was a response I had built up through my unhealthy relationship, and that in fact wasn't necessary anymore.
So my very first session at the group, I actually left and drove home a way that I normally I would have avoided out of pure fear. And on that day, I actually felt like I had the strength to go home that way. I initially thought I wasn't going to be able to live a normal life, but after that first session, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and I realised that life could be normal once again. So had I not met the women in the group, had I not joined the group, it'd be a different road for me.
And a lot of us said coming out of our set up mothers group through the council, we didn't connect really well with those mums, but we connected with each other because I guess we had that shared experience, and so did our children. I
now feel a part of a family and a group. The other women and I still catch up weekly. We rely on each other quite a lot, probably more than I would rely on my other friends. I rely on these women.
The course really helped me identify that I wasn't being selfish if I needed a couple of minutes to myself to do something, so that then when I came back to sit with her and play with her, I was probably in a better space to do that.
It's a huge feeling to have when you have been down a dark hole for quite a while. I've definitely gotten back my self-confidence. It's normalised the situation for me.
The course was so helpful for my mental health and whole well-being, as well as my parenting.
If there was another mum in my situation, my advice to her would definitely be to join this group. It has helped me immensely with just dealing with my emotions, being able to raise my daughter better. I'm able to go through my life and not have that constant fear, the constant regret and the guilt that I felt in the beginning. Knowing that the decisions that I've made are right. I've made those decisions so that my daughter and I can have a better life. You don't know those things until you join this group and you speak to other women about their situation, and you realise that you're doing the right thing.